Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it Fußball. German foosball from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
Yeah.
Oh. Did we get the tech right for once?
I have no idea.
I don't
I'm
know.
not
I think
I'm not
so.
monitoring.
I think it's good. I think it was good. I think this was a good one. Hello.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Hello, Bjorn. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm very tired. I took a red-eye flight last night. That's why we weren't live yesterday. But I will not pass out during the show. I'm committed.
I'm also very tired because I worked all last night and literally I was up all day and just got out of bed. And I also will try not to pass out.
So if we this could be a very long show if we both fall asleep at the same time.
Just hours of a story recording. Well, we'll keep it real quick because we're both very busy. But it was big game day. Big all over the German soccer world. Cannot be ignored.
My teams have not done well lately. Over the weekend, it was a big disaster. And then today I was like, oh, I guess I'm kind of rooting for Bayern. You know, I'm not usually a fan, but they're the only one of the few teams left. I kind of like this squad. I like that Goretzka is doing well again. And sure enough, this also didn't work.
Now, Bayern München, as much as it'll anger a lot of the fans, is Germany's second team because they represent Germany outside of Germany. When it comes to the Champions League, Bayern München has a huge national team contingent and represents Germany. They're like Germany's big club. So, I totally understand why you're rooting for Bayern München today. Alas, at home, you were right. They lost to Inter Milan. Inter Milan was too much for them to handle. And entering next week, they just have quite the mountain to climb. It's not over, but they have quite a big mountain to climb in Milan. If they can't win it at home, what's going to make you think they're going to go to Milan in the San Siro and win it there? So It's not looking good. It's not looking good. The only other German team in the Champions League has to play Barcelona tomorrow in a seemingly David versus Goliath affair. And
kind of.
And then we'll see. We'll see what happens there, but it's not looking good. If I was a betting man,
you would not bet.
I would say later next week there'll be 0 German teams left in the UEFA Champions League.
Would you rather be Bayern or Real Madrid?
Bayern, definitely. Real Madrid lost 3-0.
But they're at home.
Next, we said, yeah, but it's 3-0. It's a large.
It's too much.
3-0.
Too much.
Bayern München only have 1 goal deficit. That is doable. It's not impossible.
They could win.
Let's say
in Milan.
Yeah, let's say they go to Milan and win 2-0. Mm-hmm. It's a doable scoreline, maybe.
Yeah. Are they going to have? Are they going to get Musiala back or?
I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, isn't Musiala gone for the season or something?
Oh, did I miss that? Did I?
He had a bad injury.
What happened
on Friday?
Oh, I did not.
He had a bad injury on Friday.
Did not pay attention to that game. Okay.
Out with he has a hamstring, a hammy. Isn't that 9 weeks?
A hammy in April. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll miss next week's champion and be out for an indefinite period after a hamstring injury.
And they replaced him today with Vladimir Guerrero, which that is not the same thing.
No.
No offense to Guerrero, but yeah, that sucks.
Full disclosure, all very quick. I didn't get a deep look into the game. Thomas Muller was able to get an equalizer at the end.
Oh, the
That's
game
a whole
saved.
saga.
Yeah, that is a whole saga. We talked about that last week, and clearly by his reaction, it was obvious that this is irking him. This is irking him some.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
this is not that he is not entirely happy with how this all went.
Yeah, he released a private statement publicly to quash all the rumors because people were like, "What's going on, Thomas? It's this, that, blah, blah, blah." And yeah, it's all true. Bayern München does not want to pay him. Bayern München does not want him on the books next year, even though he wants to be on the books next year. He wants to say Bayern München wants him to go. So
Mhm.
Thomas Muller publicly revealed, "I'm going." And what a great way to alienate all your fans. I mean, all Bayern München fans are Thomas Muller fans. Probably more so than Bayern München fans right now.
Yeah.
And so
Also at a time where everybody's hurt and he's kind of indispensable as witnessed. I mean, there was some talk he would even have to start potentially, but he didn't. But he came off the bench and scored the equalizer. So
yeah. Is that your alarm?
yeah, I just turned it off. Sorry.
No, I just had my alarm. Yeah, we're just getting up here to talk German football. So we can keep it real brief. So Bayern München lost today. I'd rather be Bayern München. I don't want, I don't know what much, topics. Bayern München, Thomas Muller, Mal Corbaz are probably the three big stories. Originally, I wanted to be a Mal Corbaz show.
Wait, who is that?
We'll talk about him in a bit. We'll do it after the Mal Corbaz, the American superhero of Germany.
Oh,
You don't know the story
Bielefeld,
of
the
Mal
the
Corbaz?
Bielefeld guy.
Am I
Oh yeah,
saying his
yeah,
name
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I
I'll
don't know
take
how
your,
to.
I'll take
I don't
your
know how to
word. I'll
pronounce
take
this.
your word for it. Oh, he's the miracle American guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Former New York Red Bulls. Mal
Ah,
Corbaz. Former Wilmington Hammerheads.
ah.
Mal Corbaz. Born in Mobile, Alabama. He was a journeyman player who was drafted. Here we go. Corboz signed a homegrown contract in the Red Bulls. He was drafted with a bunch of other academy players, but he never broke through.
Hmm.
I think he was waived right away and then went to the minor leagues, to the Wilmington Hammerheads in North Carolina. And then from there, he made his way to Germany.
Hmm.
I'm going to have to
Send his highlight reel to Poch.
or maybe back to the New York Red Bulls with him. Now, he's just a great story because he, no one's ever heard. He's 30, like a fine wine. He's aged. Let me break down his journey. So he was waived by the New York Red Bulls
Okay.
in 2016. Played for the Wilmington Hammerheads, which is a small minor league team that plays in the stadium of UNC Wilmington in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
A small beach town where they filmed Dawson's Creek and One Tree Hill. Fun fact.
In the
about
state,
Wilmington,
in your favorite state of all the 50.
North Carolina, of all of them. And then after that, he went to MSV Duisburg.
Oh, right. Very close to my parents' house.
But he didn't play with them. He just, I guess he
Mm.
just got a contract and was on part of the reserves, I guess. It's not really much about it. Then he went to Wattenscheid.
Oh, which is part of Bochum now.
Is it really?
Yeah, it used to be its own
Yeah.
town, but it got annexed at some point. So now it's part of Bochum.
Yeah, the city of Bochum. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No,
not like a subsidiary of the
The
club.
teams have not.
Yeah.
The teams have not been merged. Only the
Not
town.
But then after that, he went to Holland and played for Go Ahead Eagles, the same club that Luca De La Torre, I believe, played for, right? One of those.
Yeah.
And then he went to SC Fail. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about it. They're also a minor league club in Germany. They were promoted to the third division at some point. And then from there, he hopped over to Arminia Bielefeld. So he turned himself from an MLS reject to a consistent third division
North Rhine-Westfalen journeyman.
journeyman with a stop in Holland.
Making
Anyway,
his,
so
Yeah, making his way right. Yeah, that's an outlier. He was on a steady eastward trend.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
and
we'll
now he's
call it.
now he's at Arminia Bielefeld, which is a traditional club. It's a third division club, but he's the team captain. He's the leader there. Like, good for him. I just love
Great.
the fact this dude, he went to University of Maryland, which was a good program, but still, he's an American college player, waived at MLS, and went to Germany, made a name for himself, and it worked. He hopped around the third division. Now he's captaining Arminia
When
Bielefeld.
you yeah, I mean, if by making a name for himself, you mean place in the third division.
No, that's unfair. We
Okay,
wouldn't know him if he didn't knock out Bayer Leverkusen last week.
that is true.
He's in the DFB Pokal final as
Yeah,
team
yeah, yeah,
captain.
yeah, yeah. So he made a name for himself just this week by
Right.
upsetting Leverkusen with Arminia
Yeah.
Bielefeld. I've spent some time in
Yeah.
Bielefeld. I think I've said this before. I've spent some time in Bielefeld. It's a very pleasant town, and I'm rooting for them in the final. I don't think when's the
Against
last time a third division team made the cup final? Has that ever happened? Not recently.
I I have no idea. But no, yeah, not in recent memory, no. But they're playing against VfB Stuttgart, the likely favorites, I believe, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
would say so, but
and then there's also an opportunity for Stuttgart to get themselves a title. They didn't have a great Bundesliga season, but if they get themselves a title, it's still a successful season for them under Hoeneß, Sebastian Hoeneß, the other Hoeneß, the good Hoeneß, I guess. Germany's up and coming whippersnapper super coach. But anyway, I just want to bring that up.
and
Love from the
a
Schnitzel Boys
little
to
little
Mel.
little factoid. I'm sorry to interrupt. In
Please.
2001, Union Berlin was the third division team that made the final, lost to Schalke in the DFB
And,
Pokal.
and look at both of them now.
And look at both of them now. How the turns have tabled.
How the tabled have turned. Yeah, Union Berlin, top flight club, and Schalke just teetering over the third division spot, third division relegation spot.
Closer to the third division than the first.
Yeah, and but it was over. Excellent start, excellent start. But yeah, it'll be a fun game. I mean, I'm rooting for Bielefeld, man. I'm rooting for my Wilmington Hammerhead. I'm rooting for my former New York Red Bull, Mail Corbaz.
Totally. And
Get it,
I'm
Mail. Get it,
definitely
Mail.
and Stuttgart can go to hell for all I care because they crushed Bochum over the weekend 4-0. This is well anyway, we'll get to the Bundesliga later. There's not
Well,
much to say, but
if you want to go on a little rant, please, because I might have to run away for a minute. You might have to vamp for me for a couple of minutes.
okay. Well, I can talk about Bochum for 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, is there anything else to talk about when it comes to UEFA Champions League? Bayern München lost.
Bayern
Bummer.
München lost, and Ars. I mean, this is not Germany related. There are no Germans on the team now that Kai Havertz is injured, but Arsenal had themselves a game 3-0 against Real Madrid. That's no small thing. I mean,
No, right.
Real Madrid are this team. They've looked for years now, like they are due for a game like this, but it hasn't happened. They would always find a way, but now it finally happened, and they got the big loss, and Arsenal have one leg in the semifinals, and for them that's no small thing. So that was big. I didn't watch that game. I watched the Bayern Milan game. Yeah, and Milan, yeah.
Well,
Bayern
you hold
just
no credence. You hold no credence to club history. What's it called? The institutional knowledge. What's it called?
well, I mean, in the case of Real Madrid, it's not that I don't hold any.
Because Real Madrid always wins the Champions League, and Arsenal is a very, 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 very good English team that always loses to Barcelona in the Champions League. Always, it's just always been like Arsenal was never. They have no European title of all the English clubs. They're the one that has no European titles. Everybody else does. Nottingham
Yeah,
Forest,
and
Liverpool, Man
they,
United.
yeah.
Arsenal has no European
They-
titles. They're always good domestically, but when it comes to Champions League, they got zilch, null. So when Real Madrid plays Arsenal, the institutional knowledge is that Real Madrid wins that, right? No matter what, it's Arsenal could be the better team on paper or whatever, but because it's the Champions League, Real Madrid's going to win that one. But Arsenal flipped the tables. So far, my prediction of Bayern and Real Madrid going through isn't looking good. So my bracket's already being challenged quite a bit. With Arsenal and Inter making it through, I predicted Real and Bayern to get it through because I do put credence on this institutional knowledge. But they are proving that is poppycock. And you're like, yeah, it's not looking good it's definitely not looking good for Real Madrid. Even though they're at home, it's a 3-goal deficit.
Yeah, but
mean,
I don't
what are they
know.
gonna do?
If the institutional knowledge is so strong, maybe they can do it.
Sure, there's still a week left there's still a week left for the soccer gods to correct. They still have another game.
To come around. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
No, it's
No,
not
but
that I don't
Arsenal
give. It's not that I'm sometimes. It's not that I don't give credence to it. I'm sometimes frustrated by it. It's like it seems like teams are just rolling over to the mystique. I'm like, come on,
Right.
somebody knock
True.
these people off. Um,
Arsenal got your message. They knocked those people off. Good for them. Good for Mikel Arteta, a Spanish man. And maybe having a Spanish coach helped. His little vendetta, perhaps, against the Real Madrids of the world.
oh,
Well, I don't know what Mikel Arteta's relationship is with Real Madrid. He never played for them, did he? Was he a Barcelona man?
I think so. Wasn't he?
Mikel Arteta shows you how little I know.
Yeah, he
Barca
was like
B, PSG, right? Yeah, he was a Barcelona man.
Yeah, he's a Barcelona guy.
That probably helps. All right, so there you go. Thoughts on the Champions League? Let us know in the chat. Thoughts on Thomas Muller leaving? What's his future? Let us know in the chat. Anyway, I'm going to run away, Bjorn. You want to start talking about Bundesliga?
That's good. How long do you need? I will talk about Bundesliga. Yeah, we have.
I need about 15 to 20 minutes.
Great. Let's go. Are you serious? No.
Well, maybe. No. Let's do it. Let's touch on Bundesliga 1 and 2 real quick, and then maybe call it quits on this
Maybe
quick episode.
make it an early. Yeah, that sounds good.
A
Yeah, I mean,
little break from the
it
USL.
was just I mean, from there weren't a lot of surprises. Bayern won. Leverkusen won at Heidenheim. I mean, the title race is kind of back on. 6 points is not a whole lot, but Bayern will probably do it. The Champions League spots are under review. But it's just the Bochum thing. I mean, it was another home game, and they just got crushed by Stuttgart. And it's funny because after this Bayern victory, there was this general sense of like, oh, gonna totally do this now after being pretty hopeless for a lot of the year, and now it's like, oh no, now it's a foregone conclusion that Bochum's gonna do it. And I don't know, we've had some pretty bad losses and are back in 17th. And meanwhile, there was a new Sportdirektor. There's Hecking got extended. It's like, oh, everything's hunky-dory. Not yet. I mean, got the worst goal differential. And still 2 points away, now 6 points away from a non-playoff relegation spot. So yeah, I don't know. I think
Sounds like business as usual.
gotten a little complacent there.
Business as usual, Bochum.
Holstein Kiel got a point in Mainz,
featuring 76 minutes of
John Tolkien got back on the field. All right.
0 minutes of Leonard Maloney. Leonard Maloney's transfer to Mainz has led to nothing but bench for him. He's still working his way in there.
Dortmund got a big win at Freiburg and is now only 1 point behind them. So Dortmund perhaps making a late charge for this last Champions League spot.
RB Leipzig finally got rid of Marco Rose. They got rid of Marco Rose this past weekend as they lost to Stuttgart in the DFB Pokal. I believe that was the last straw. I think if they were still up for a tie, Leipzig and Stuttgart were fighting over a title this year, the Pokal. looks like Stuttgart won that battle. Sebastian Hoeneß and the Stuttgart boys got through, and Marco Rose and RB Leipzig were eliminated. And with RB Leipzig standings and whatnot, they got rid of Marco Rose. So RB Leipzig is now in the market for a new trainer, and Marco Rose is available for a new club. It just never worked out with Marco Rose, either at Dortmund or Leipzig. Now, I thought
Yeah.
Dortmund got rid of him a little too fast. I'm not behind the scenes. I wasn't really there. It was a different management at the time. And RB Leipzig got themselves a great manager, but under Marco Rose, RB Leipzig never stole much of the show, right? Never stole, but they were there, they were doing it, but they were only just doing it.
I think this year definitely a little underachieving given their squad. Yeah, I would say so. You would think they would be. I mean, they're still in the hunt for a Champions League spot. It's not like they're well ahead of Dortmund or Stuttgart, but you would think they'd be closer. You know, they're 23 points behind Bayern. That's not close.
Right. They were supposed to be the club that won the not the Champions League. They were supposed to be the club that won the Bundesliga first after Bayern. But Bayer Leverkusen went and took that crown.
Yeah.
Under Xabi Alonso. And, Leipzig was a team that made it to the Champions League semis in the Tyler Adams days. They were a contender, but they are not the same contender they were a few years ago. They probably want to get back to their earlier prowess. I don't know. We'll see who is it. Maybe it's time for Struber to shine.
Oh,
He's
boy.
an old Red Bull coach.
Oh, boy.
Maybe they'll pluck him from Köln. Who knows? I don't know. Whoever's next up at RB Leipzig.
Hamburg.
Schnitzel Cup, Tara Devi West. Strap in. Our resident Leipzig fan.
Hamburg
strap in and wait.
Hamburg getting closer and closer to coming back up. Yeah, the Champions League spots. I think Leipzig will do it. Probably. Mainz is now struggling. They only couldn't beat Kiel at home. Gladbach couldn't beat St. Pauli on the road. So those like upstart, out of nowhere Champions League contenders are struggling. Freiburg is now slipped out of those places. Dortmund is surging, so maybe the usual suspects, the institutional knowledge, can win out at the end. We'll see. We will find out. And yeah, Bochum, I don't know. We're back to being worried. Thomas Müller is not saying where he's going.
Right. I mean, you said he's not going to MLS. There's rumors like the CBS Sports Golasso and Tommy Scoops. The rumors are all over the place. Cincinnati, Chicago Fire is the latest, and then of course LAFC are all rumored to be going after Thomas Müller, as well as Kevin De Bruyne, a little KDB. This is more USA Hour action, but now is the time for European big wigs to announce their contracts are expiring, and for the MLS rumor mill and the Saudi Arabian rumor mill to go in full swing. Likely generated by their agents. I don't know if a lot of it's coming from.
I think
clubs,
that is a good rule of thumb. If you hear about it very aggressively online, then it's probably driven by the agent.
Yeah, I don't know if Greg Berhalter is bending over backwards to get his hands on Thomas Müller. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. Also, the LAFC thing is just clear because LAFC is a Bayern München partner, and they want to send him there just to be like. Just to enjoy his time in LA and help sell jerseys or something. I know that, but like you said, is Thomas Müller a dude who'll do that? He seems to be someone who wants to play. Like he's not done playing. I do believe he wants to play next year. I think that is true.
Yeah, he said after the game he's not on an Abschieds tournee. He's not on a farewell tour. He's playing. He's a player. He's a player who wants to play.
Yeah, but is he going to Augsburg so he can be near his wife's horses? Or is he going to do something like that? Or is he going to go to Serie A, which is something, Mats Hummels was at AS Roma this past season. Fun fact. Germans go to Italy. Is that his trajectory? Or is it Saudi Arabia time? Is it time for that money? Or is it MLS time? I don't know.
You will hear it here.
You will not hear it here first. But you'll definitely hear it here at some point.
You will hear it here at some point. Yes.
I, for one, would love for him to come to LA. I'd love to see the Marco Reus, Thomas Müller, LA, El Tráfico.
That is too many old guys for one team. That it's not sustainable.
That's such an LA thing, and I deserve it. I need more LA things. Yeah, so there you go. Just a quick touch on the Bundesliga 2. Hamburg won, but Köln lost over the weekend against Hertha. Paderborn also lost. Hannover lost. Who was FC Kaiserslautern lost. So Hamburg was the only top team that got 3 points over the weekend.
Yeah, they're kind of they have perhaps not a foot, but maybe a toe in the Bundesliga again.
Well, they are the top of the table with 6 rounds left.
They got they have 6. They're 6 points ahead of the third place team. Kaiserslautern has dropped out of that spot. Yeah, Köln had a chance to really solidify their spot, but like you said, they couldn't. So yeah, HSV is looking pretty good now.
We're rooting for you, HSV. Rooting for you, HSV. All right, I think that's all I got for the Germany hour. We got the second divisioning. First division with only 5 rounds left. Looks like 6 points.
Reach for the sound here quickly.
Well, German teams in Europe are struggling. Dortmund, can they pull off a surprise tomorrow? We'll see. Till then, see you next week.
Just hope that I'm not rooting for your team, because if I am, they will lose.
Just.
We'll see you at 10 at the Deutschland hour.
USA hour.
The USA hour, that's right. If Stefan is back. Stefan is back by then after his mystery errand.
We have CONCACAF Champions Cup to talk
CONCACAF.
about. It's happening now, isn't it?
A Galaxy and Tigres, right? Tonight, is that true?
Is that now or is that later?
I will find out. You do your thing. I will catch you up when I see you at 10.
Cheers.
Tschüss.